I will call to order the emergency school board meeting of Thursday, September 11th, 2025. If everyone could join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, on to our main item.
Good evening. We ran into some problems with the ledge that we were concerned about, not knowing if we're gonna hit ledge or not, or how much is throwing a dart at a dartboard. So if you see my breakdown on the very first page, you'll see all the original pricing, including the increase from RAB lighting, which brought our total up to $31,435, which brought us up over $872 over the additional $3,000 that I was granted as an allowance. New change order, which is included in the packet on the first page after, gives a detail of the breakdown of the change order. Change order is at $4,815 even, which now brings our new total up to $36,250.
Not to be nitpicky, but it does say $4,815.40 on the estimate.
I'm sorry, usually I round up to the next dollar up. It should probably say
Okay.
$18.16. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to have another meeting for 40 cents.
I get you. Totally understand.
So what does this include? This change order?
You're talking about the change order?
Yeah, from DDX to 4815.
Yep, I'm sorry, the breakdown is on the second page, or the first page, yes.
So is it two different estimates? One's
I was told to bring
$6,988.
the original estimate of $6,998, which was the original
For the lighting project.
for the lighting project, correct. And now that we broke into the ledge, you should see the estimate for $4,815.40.
So that's the additional.
That's the additional cost. Please do not include the way their software works. He has an option. He should have removed the equipment line, so that equipment line only represents labor. And then the additional equipment is the jackhammer that needs to be brought in. Delivery equipment, materials, and then concrete.
What's the concrete
The
for?
concrete is for, we got permission from the new building inspector to just, instead of chipping away unnecessary ledge, we can encase the conduit in concrete. So we only have 3 areas that we need to do chipping, which are where the light poles are.
So not in that trench with all that exposed ledger, it's in the holes? In the holes for the
Yes,
bollards?
yes, we need to do chipping in there.
Ledge there.
Yep,
When we walked around it, we didn't see any ledge in those holes, right?
yeah, we did,
When you and I walked out there the other day?
yeah.
Okay. The only spots, there were 3 spots marked and it was in the trench. It was not where the bollards were.
No, those were the biggest places where, they started marking, but there are 3 spots that need to be chipped.
You said you were willing to take us around tonight and show us?
I think that would be the
Okay,
best place. Seeing it on paper is one thing, but actually visually looking at it is what I believe what needs to be done.
Sure.
I feel like it. So the sand, so his original estimate only had $202 in sand. Now we're increasing that by $964.
Yep. We didn't know what we were getting into. We were hoping for,
That's it. There's no, it just says materials sand, it doesn't give any quantity.
No, it doesn't.
So who's, again, them being like $4,000 cheaper than all the other estimates? This is why? Like they didn't include.
Well, yeah, but this is for the additional sand that they're gonna need, because if we go back and we look, we're gonna see how many rocks that are in what he took out, that fill cannot be reused. Or, yeah, it can't be reused to cover the conduit.
Do they typically not provide like a quantity with materials? Or is there,
Just told him to get me the number. I didn't, I wasn't, to give us a number, I mean, I'm not gonna go out there and take measurements and try to figure out if he's carrying enough. I'm leaving it up to an expert to tell me this is what we need for.
right, no,
That's
I'm
the
just,
point, yeah.
like,
So how do we know if it's over or not? You know, like
I
the other,
believe 'em.
the other quotes didn't have quantities.
No,
like cubic feet of
No.
whatever.
Cole and Sons did not have Cole and Sons did not have quantities. White Mountain did not have quantities.
Is that just because on the RFP, when the RFP went out, did we put the
No, I did
request
not
out for?
specify anything because I didn't know what we were getting into.
So if the RFP didn't.
They
call
knew
for it,
that
we
they
wouldn't
needed
put
to
any-
carry a number to put the conduit down in sand, but that additional cost is for the backfill.
Well, if an RFP didn't ask for that information, a vendor wouldn't provide it. So it would have had to have been, that kind of information would have had to been put out prior on that RFP to be able to get those quantities. So just, that may be why none of those quotes had any of that in there. Because they wouldn't have provided that with the initial quote if it wasn't requested.
Yeah, that just leaves the door wide
Right.
open for a change order.
Yeah,
Well, I can tell the contractor that this number is final. Don't come back for anything else because he's the professional. I'm gonna assume that he knows what we need and get job done
Well,
correctly.
ledge is one thing, hammering ledge is one thing, but coming back and saying that we need 5 times as much sand as we anticipated.
Because we didn't know what we would be digging out of the hole. None of that stuff is suitable to be put back into the trenches without damaging the pipe. And that's not what we want.
Yeah, that's not how a professional bids a job like this, I'll tell you that right now. And that's why the other estimates were so much more. I guarantee you they were carrying, it wasn't just labor, they were carrying, those things. Because obviously you're not gonna dig in the ground and get all sand.
Not
So,
in New
But-
Hampshire.
Their price is still lower than than the highest bidder.
even with all the change orders.
Yes,
How long did they estimate for them to take to do that?
3 days. Oh, how many days for the jackhammering?
Yeah.
1 day.
Are they gonna do that when kids aren't here?
Yes. You said they're gonna do that when the kids are here?
Or not here?
No, they're gonna do that. If we get the go-ahead tonight, they will start it tomorrow.
And the jackhammering won't be a problem with kids in attendance?
If it is, I'll put a stop to it.
I'm saying the modulars I would worry about in particular, because I feel like those don't have as much insulation as
Yep.
a building.
So if they had to come after hours or on the weekends, gonna cost more? or-
He's already talked about coming in on Saturday to do the prep work, any prep work that he needs to be doing.
Do you have the-
It's like 2/3 more than the original. It's like 2/3 the price for an extra day at work.
Do you have the quotes from the other companies
I'm
handy?
looking right now to see if I can find it.
Would those be in the drive, Jess, do you know?
I don't think they were in the drive, but I'm not positive.
Those were before I came on, I think.
I can run down to my office and grab them.
I don't need them, I was just curious of the numbers, because you had said this was lower, so I didn't know if you knew offhand what the totals were.
The actual individual, yes, I do.
Yep.
These are all the original quotes that I received. Dirt Dynamics, $69.98. White Mountain, $86.22. Cole & Sons, $10,555. Blue Sky, $12,100.
Can you repeat those for me one more time, a little slower, I can't write that fast.
Yeah, just give me
So it's
Oh, perfect.
it's only cheaper than Blue Sky.
Yeah, the top one.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
It's almost even with the second.
Oh, wait, this was in the drive.
It might have been.
Yeah, this was in the drive, I remember seeing this.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Somewhere.
What was the second highest price?
$86.22.
That was the cheapest, wasn't it?
Oh, 10,555.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned with our conversation the other day about backfilling, with the backfill of those bollards with no concrete.
Okay,
I talked to a couple people after our conversation, they think that that's crazy as well, to not have concrete. If you're digging a hole, if the bollard's this big and you dig a hole this big, that's one thing. But they've dug holes much bigger than the bollards. So now you've got non-native soil that needs to be compacted. Sand doesn't compact. So you're backfilling the sand. All that material that got dug out is sand and bony stuff. So, I don't think that, I don't know, I don't feel good about the way that this is all happening. So. And I know we agreed, you offered to GC this project, but I feel like this is what we're getting now, so.
What do you mean GC? Oh, okay.
Rather than hiring a
Bring
general
somebody in,
contractor.
yeah, to go over the whole, we're way over on materials, which was our original. And that should be the easiest thing to estimate, so. We're over $3,800 over on materials. And I'm afraid that it's not gonna get done properly in the end anyway, so.
And so then the risk, if there's not something compacting it, sorry, this might be a dumb question, is
No.
like the bollards could tip or something or not be sturdy?
Yeah, so it's the general rule of thumb is 10-2, so 10% of the height plus 2 foot depth. So I don't even know what the height of the poles are.
6 feet.
6 feet?
It's 4 feet in the ground, 2 feet above.
2 feet.
2 feet
Wait,
above.
what?
The actual poles themselves?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, the total height.
The poles are 20 feet.
Okay, 20 feet.
The lights are gonna be down here.
Just
It's
foot
flashing
lights.
lights.
Yeah, so that's 10, yeah, so that's 4 feet. So the depth is right, but I think the compaction around it is gonna be an issue.
Did the contractor mention anything about why they are choosing not to use concrete? Like, did they give a
I
rationale?
did not call for concrete, and none of the other contractors asked about concrete.
But they may not have over excavated like they did here. They may have, used an auger and just drilled a straight hole down and not disturbed.
No one mentioned doing it in auger. I asked everybody how they were gonna attempt it, and they were just gonna do exactly what's being done up there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys don't feel safe, then I would reach out for more direction, whether it's from someone that someone knows, or we bring in an engineer at this point.
I just think that it would be super easy to order a concrete truck and you could literally just shoot those holes with those bollards in the ground, just super easy, there's no mixing, they need concrete for those other areas.
Would that minimize the use of sand?
What's that?
Would that minimize the use of sand?
Around the
Probably
walls, you
not, yeah, a little bit around.
Because you
but-
wouldn't need as much to fill back in, right?
Right, but it would still be, I mean, concrete's gonna be way more than 900 bucks a sand.
Oh, yeah.
But it's, you know,
But you're
again,
talking,
I don't know where all the liability on this feels too, it's like, you know, if we did have a general contractor, then the liability would probably be on them if the things tipped over, right?
I mean, it would
imagine
depend
beyond
on the indemnification clauses. Right. The school probably ultimately would be, but I don't know.
I just, it's something that we didn't really consider, or I didn't at least,
No, I didn't either.
but.
I know, Chris and I had talked about when we go to do the bigger projects, like the, HVAC system and things like that, that we will likely be going with an engineer to be doing those kinds of things because of all the unforeseen problems that are gonna come up. So obviously, I mean, it's too late to go back and do that now, but,
They'll be coming for more money.
right,
There's,
Oh, yeah.
you open
Yes.
up this building and you
Yeah.
are, it's like, I just wanna fix this porch. Next thing you know, the whole breezeway getting replaced.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
it
that's,
is like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just open up a can of worms
Yeah.
when you start doing anything. Ask
not
Chris,
to,
we've had
yeah,
a dripping faucet. We're like, well, what is that? We take a little bit of the wall away. Next thing you know, the whole inside is completely drenched and
Yes.
we have to serve pro in here and yeah. So, sorry, Cannon, to.
oh, no, I didn't wanna derail the conversation, but the email that you had forwarded over earlier, and maybe we'll talk about that later or something, but that was kind of my fear with that email that you had sent over about the person that had volunteered to take a look at.
right.
It, like, I mean, I'm sure he's very knowledgeable, but ultimately, I think he's a salesman. So,
Well, as anybody who would own a business, right, like it's
Yeah, yeah.
expected,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
expected to
Right.
be, right.
but I just.
But that's why we go out to
but
bid
that's-
for those.
When she
kinds
said
of
that, it
things,
made me
yeah.
think of that email right away too, and I
Yeah.
thought that in my head when I read the email, but at the same
Yeah.
time. But I think, you know, I think there is validity to talking about that later anyways, but.
I have no
Not to get
opinion about it,
off.
I was like, this is a facility question.
Yeah, no, I think we should definitely discuss it, we'll put it on the next one.
I think is October the first one, or are you gonna, will we go on communications for next meeting?
I think it makes more sense to talk about it in October as,
Yep,
and then
okay,
topic.
that's what I thought,
That's what we were talking.
alright.
Do we know, how much is in the trust?
So
Goodness.
the original trust with the parking lot was
Right.
done, it was like, there's like $3,000 left in there. The site improvement, there's about $100,000 left in that trust fund. So this project will have to come out of site improvement, not the remaining 3,000 of that parking lot project. Because this was a different project on top of the parking lot.
Right. I
Um,
think that is specifically for paving.
yes, it was paved, yeah, it's
I
paved.
think we could
So
Configure.
you,
repair cracks or something.
right, and like we talked about, there's a piece of paving in the back that'll need to be touched up next year.
Yeah.
We likely could utilize the rest of that.
That won't be on us.
Yeah.
Oh, that won't be
Because
on
of the
us, okay.
dredging from solar.
So any kind of sealing maybe that needs to be done in the future, we could use the rest of that remaining trust for that. But there's the site improvement, there's about $100,000 left in there.
Well, I mean, the reason I ask, and, you know, I appreciate everything Cannon's saying because that's what you do and you understand. But I feel like we can't stop this project now. I mean, we need to continue on with it. And yeah, it's gonna cost us more money, and I hate to say, let's add more money, but should we find out about concrete if that's a concern? Because again, that's not my expertise.
The contractor may have a valid reason why they didn't do it, but it would be helpful to know more.
Right, but then if,
I mean, if there is the concern of it being a safety thing, if we're here, sitting here tonight talking about this project and money and everything, let's put everything out on the table, so like as Kendra said, we don't have to come back hopefully for this again.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do to move forward? We're not gonna stop it, I don't think, and try to find somebody else to finish it or bring an engineer in. So what should we do to move forward so that we can get it done?
Yeah, I mean, I think we will need to go forward with the hammering, but I think it's a good question of whether we should, and that is sort of a separate issue from what we're doing with the actual bollards. And if we're jackhammering, we can do that, but then should we reassess? Or at least get some answers about the filling part.
And this is
I mean, I
nothing
don't-
on you.
No, I'm not.
You know, I'm just, it's like, okay, we're moving forward, we've gotta do it,
And I think
let's get it all
you know,
out.
part of having a facilities committee is that, you know, if you got an answer about that tomorrow and you talked with Canon, I mean, I think the board would be fine if Canon felt fine with it, that we could go ahead. But if Canon wanted to bring it back to the board, I think we could do that as well.
Are you talking about the facilities committee making a decision on concrete?
On concrete. I mean, probably not financially, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Right, but
Yeah.
if he were to say, this is why, this was the plan, with the sand or whatever, they were going forward as it's currently been.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well,
Yep.
what about this? What if we did approve up to a certain amount for concrete? And then
If the
we got that
contractor-
price.
Yeah,
What's that?
If the contractor was going to do that?
He doesn't even have to do it. The concrete company will shoot it right in the hole.
No, I mean, like, if that's not gonna fit the scope of the project that's going on, the contractor may not be willing to finish up that project if it didn't fit, like,
Oh, the schedule.
There- well, their like specs of the project, like if that messed up some kind of, would that have like a domino effect that they wouldn't be able to complete that project to their regulations or safety issues? I don't know. Because if they have another company come in and do something, that's not an issue.
The excavation contract, or is that what we're talking about?
So the contractor who is doing this right now.
Yeah.
If for some reason it was decided that cement was needed, they would have a different company come in and do cement, correct? Like it
Well,
would be
you-
them.
like,
We would.
Chris could just call the concrete truck and they would just come and they literally, the driver just pulls up, he points his chute right at the hole, shoots it right in the hole,
Isn't it
moves
different?
on to the next hole.
It's alongside a different contract, right? Because isn't it a different person that's setting the poles?
No, the
That's-
excavation
that's the
contract
excavation
is setting the
guys,
bollards, that's,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So they, they can continue burying all their iron concrete.
I just wanna make sure it wasn't gonna be like a conflict of interest or,
there's already
like a
concrete.
barrier
That's for
to
the conduit.
Right, but it would be
that
the same
company
guy.
completing their project.
First,
I didn't know if that would
say,
be, there'd be issues to that or no.
I don't know if they're.
But that must happen
I don't know if
all the
that's
time.
a
Yeah,
They
and
just
then
have to
they're gonna have to stand them.
Yeah.
And then,
Couple
to
days.
me, it's easier for them, but.
But my question is, they're gonna have to stand each individual bollard. And while that concrete sets up to hold it in place, because the minute they let it go, that bollard is gonna go one way, in one direction or another, without it being short. Right?
Not if it's 4 feet in the ground, it definitely should, it's.
So are you saying backfill it and then cement it in?
No,
So you're saying concrete right at the base?
I mean, you could put some base around the very bottom, but we've got 4 feet to deal with. We don't need 4 feet of concrete.
Right,
Yeah, so you backfill some of it at the bottom, so that it's, stood in the hole, yeah, and then fill around with concrete.
I would like someone to write the actual instructions down so it's clear. Because I need to present this to the contractor to make sure is there gonna be another upcharge?
Well, I think the first question too is to ask them, have they ever used concrete? Would you use
Right.
concrete? What is your suggestion?
What was the rationale for not?
Right, exactly.
They may have-
That would be
Yeah,
the
but
first.
I'll be 100% honest, they may have not even done bollards before, just because you're an excavation company. Blue Sky Landscaping, I can almost guarantee you he's never set light post volleys before. He has an excavator and he digs out hardscapes all the time, but that doesn't
Right, that's
mean,
different.
yeah, that doesn't mean that you set ballers and you know the specs on that. And that's why, you know, the GC, whoever's running the project provides the specs of how that gets done. So, but I mean, if we want to eliminate the concrete and
No, I
it's up
don't,
to,
I don't think we should eliminate the concrete. I think you should have a discussion with the contractor and share our concerns about sand backfill. And then discuss with Canon what they say about that.
Sure.
So would you suggest doing like approving funding up to a certain amount to allow, if they decide concrete's the way to go, to allow for that, so we don't have to come back again to do another round of funding? I think that's what you were.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would prefer, just because I don't know what else is going to change in the meantime. Like, do we need, like, I don't think we can really fight over the cost of concrete. So like, we could meet again, but for what?
Yeah.
Like, if we're deciding that's the
We just need
direction
to
we're gonna
approve the
go.
cost,
Right.
yeah.
If you think that you can have a ballpark of what we would even
Yeah.
approve tonight, I don't have any idea.
Have you had concrete poured recently? Okay.
It's been a while since I've dealt with concrete.
Seven light poles, lights?
7.
I have no concept of.
I don't know, we always did
no,
ours with
yeah,
bags.
I was gonna say,
I
I'm
can
quick
figure
reading
it out.
things.
We put concrete in
Are we
ours
gonna
too,
go
but
outside
it's-
or not?
Yeah, I think,
Cause I can figure it out while you do that.
And then come back and you can make a motion
Figure out the
to,
number,
okay.
yeah, concrete, but I just, the only thing like I was mentioning before is, you know, I think that there should be some pushback on the sand, the $964 of additional sand. I mean, I don't know, there's no, without any quantities, how do we know what was $202 for sand? Like, the trucking alone's like $125 for a triaxle, so did they only include one triaxle for all that? Is that, I don't know. The fill's probably $75 and the trucking's $125, so they $200, and so now they would need, they're saying like 4 more triaxles or something. That seems excessive, so, and again, there's no quantity, so how do we even, how do we know?
How do you measure what you're getting?
And again, same thing with this, is like, yeah, they're estimating, it doesn't, I asked for a daily rate because if this takes them a full day and they're not done, then what, we're coming back again?
No, this is to complete the work.
No matter what?
At this point, yes.
Okay.
I mean, we've exposed everything that we need to
Yeah.
expose. There's no going down any further. We've gone over the water lines and we've gone over the propane tank with no problem. So this is it. I mean, if they, you know, it's,
It'd be a freak of nature.
yeah, they're gonna have to finish this project with the money we're giving them. That's it.
I do understand what you're saying though, because usually when you get like an invoice from somebody, it would have your hourly labor, it would have, you know, if you're gonna order like mulch, you would have your cubic yards of how much per cubic yard you're getting for those kinds of things. So how do you measure how much you're getting and making sure that it's,
Nobody knows,
Getting
because
what you
ledge
pay
is very different. We just did a job a month ago. It's the hardest ledge I've ever seen in my life. It was just making dust, a little bit of dust at a time. Other jobs, it breaks off in chunks like this, you know? So that's why I specifically asked for an hourly rate, daily rate, because if this, you know, we should get like a 4-hour, a half day charge or a full day charge.
Well, it's hard for them to
Just
say
leaving
how
ourselves
the
open.
ledge is gonna go. I mean,
Exactly, so how do they put a price to it without giving a daily rate or an hourly rate? Most people.
well, no one's
don't
gonna,
pay.
no one's gonna rent, I mean, are you really gonna rent a jackhammer for an hour? For 2 hours?
No, that's why I said most people, again, this, I'm not coming from a standpoint of not doing this every day, right?
No, I understand.
So we do a half day minimum for hammering.
Yeah.
So 4 hours. Then there's a break on a full day rate. So if it goes, the full day, then it's less than, 4 hours times 2, but so you're kind of just contradicted yourself by saying they don't know how easy or hard it's gonna go.
Right.
Well, but this might
I'm not
just be,
contradicting
Does this
myself, they don't know.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
this
so
might
if
just
they
be.
don't know, does this include, you're saying they're gonna have to go with what we're giving them at this point to
Correct.
complete it?
Correct.
I just wonder if this is.
If it
even
takes
how
1 day or
they-
2 days or a half a day, that's the price we're gonna pay.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere in here. It's, again, based on an assumption, I think, so.
Is that something that they potentially could put in writing, that this would be to complete the project,
I can ask them.
period?
Yep.
I understand the concern, I just wonder if this company may not break out their invoices like that, but that's,
I mean, it does.
that's on them.
It does say in it,
Right.
the balance due listed is subject to change at any time due to unforeseen circumstances.
Right.
And it's got material cost, material needed, duration.
Right, that's what I wonder, if having them put it in writing, that this would be it.
Because I read that we can come back for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no doubt. Should we go do a site walk? Okay. We're gonna put a little timeout on the meeting.
So I'm just gonna stop recording for now. And then hopefully when we come back, I can start recording. I'll mute, but keep the video on so people can see when we come back.
Kristen, are you, when you're done with this, who do you usually send it to, or who does Brian usually send it to?
No, we don't send it to anyone, it goes into the.
Oh, it goes onto the YouTube.
It goes onto the DCS Dragons Drive.
Yep.
And then either Olivia or I have to upload it. It takes a couple hours for it to render and that type of thing, so.
Could you just send me the link when you're done so that I can take better minutes,
Sure.
or show me where or how to get
Of
to
course.
it? Okay.
Chris, do you know what
Show me the way.
the diameter of those bollards are?
18 inches.